There's a impactful change that has been done at the APR, or the business registry here in Serbia, and it's going to affect a lot of individuals as to how they set up their businesses here. And I wanted to bring this out to the public because it's not something that is publicly known. It's just recently changed. And people that are still doing the Google thing or looking on AI and being like, well, the law still states this. Yes, the law still states that. There's a lot of information that stays out there that people don't change on their websites. I know in one of our blogs, it still states the same because we just haven't gone back to our website to be able to update that. We change that typically on a yearly basis. And our site is quite large to go back through that and find that needle in the haystack, essentially. If you're one of the individuals who's looking to register a business while you're outside of Serbia, you're going to want to pay attention to this because it's going to impact you big time. So in the past, you were able to give the power of attorney to individuals such as us, and we were able to open up a business on behalf of the client. And this was something that was very popular for individuals who were looking to get that step forward into getting things done earlier, so they're not waiting when they're getting here. So the business process essentially, when it's filed to the time it's open, is 5 business days. However, there's a lot of back-end work that we need to do before we actually open up the business. And so if you're one of our clients that watch us, you understand that we make sure that we, communicate with you, your partners, your investors, so on and so forth, to make sure that the business structure is correct before we actually apply for that business too. So this could be, a couple days ahead of the application. Some of the clients we're working with is like a couple of months because there's many moving parts, many individuals a part of what they're trying to do. And so we're trying to hone in on the best structure for that, which is something we do here, which is not only opening up businesses, but helping them with structures, expansion, and business planning as well. Now, this is also going to affect individuals who are looking to obtain a Visa D and come to Serbia based on the company that they opened up. So this is going to pertain to individuals that are not visa free, essentially. So if you require a visa to come to Serbia, regardless if it's for a tourist or a longer term stay, this is who this applies to. So this is going to affect you big time. So if you have a Schengen visa, a US visa, one of those visas, you can come here to open up the business, but you're still going to be required to leave. And so what this change essentially is that the business registry is no longer allowing individuals and companies to open up companies, regardless if it's an LLC or what we call as a DOO here, or an entrepreneur business. The rules have changed to that you have to come to Serbia in order to open up the business. The reason that they're doing this is that there are a lot of individuals, mostly those individuals that are looking to obtain the Visa D based on the business that they opened up, is that if they don't get the Visa D, they leave their obligations high and dry for that business. And so they're not paying their contributions, they're not paying their taxes, they're not filing the correct paperwork. And this is not only now adding up on that side too, but the business registry also has expenses that they incur just by having that business open. And so it's not fair to the taxpayers here in Serbia either. So that's something that is changing, is going to impact a lot of people. We have partners coming here next week from Spain. And well, they're originally from Spain. They live in the UK right now, but they're actually both flying in here to pick up the documents and sign paperwork and open up the business here physically because of the nature of their business. Serbia is a great hub for them. And, that's just an expense they're going to have to incur now. There are things that we can still do when it comes to after the fact, after the business is opened up, such as the bank accounts and so on and so forth. But the business registration now is not going to happen when it comes to doing it through a power of attorney. One of the other things that I want to note that a lot of individuals are getting wrong information about is the type of business that they need to open up. A lot of people are being promoted the entrepreneur business, the flat rate tax system. And that is good for certain individuals. However, it's not ideal. I would much prefer the DOO option, and I will explain to you why. The people that are pushing the entrepreneur business, they are doing that because it's honestly the easiest one to set up. There's no articles of incorporation and the other moving parts, finding accountants and so on and so forth. This is basically set up the business and on you go. However, the issue is, though, depending on the activity code that you are opening up, that flat rate tax is going to vary. So it can vary from 200 euros a month, which is fantastic, but it can also be 450 euros per month. And now, if you're thinking, well, 450 euros, that's not a really low tax rate, you are correct. The issue is, though, that the entrepreneur business, you're going to be paying that 450 euros every month, regardless if you're making money or not. Where on the other hand, you can get bookkeeping for the lowest flat rate tax structure through a DOO and have write-offs. So you could pay 200, 250 euros per month for accounting, and now you're paying less for that entrepreneur, the taxes, because you don't have that flat rate tax you're obligated to pay every month. You also now have write-offs. You are able to purchase things for your business and reduce the actual corporate tax that you're paying, where on the entrepreneur business, you do not have any of those write-offs. That money that you're getting is both for your business and for your your personal expenses too. Now, the other thing that a lot of individuals are not advised when you open up the business is that entrepreneur business, you're only able to open up one activity code under that. If you want to do multiple things with your business, you can only do that through multiple activity codes, which can only be done through a DOO. The other one that people don't tell you, because they just want you to set up the business and then the onus is on you, is that when you open up the entrepreneur business, there is something called a samostalny test, standalone test. It wants to make sure that you're sending enough invoices to different clients to make sure that you are an actual business owner, where the DOO does not have that. So this is something that we have to keep in mind. This is something that I explain to people on our consultations. We go more in depth because it's not just simply, well, this is it and that's how it is. And so if you're interested, I'd highly recommend you do book in our consultation. Yes, our prices have gone up. That is just simply due to the demand and to reduce the demand and ensuring that I'm able to focus on to the clients that we are working on. Our prices have gone up on the consultations, and that's just simply how business goes. But again, reverting back to the business side of things, is if you are someone who is looking to obtain a visa D to come to Serbia based on the business, you need to come to Serbia first, either on a tourist visa, or if you have a Schengen visa or a US visa, you can come in on that, open up the business, leave, and then apply outside of the country based on that business. If you are someone who has visa-free travel into Serbia, you will still need to come to Serbia on a trip and do that in person, and that's something that we can do ahead of time. We've had clients that literally arrived in the morning and flew out in the evening, and we were able to prep everything before they landed to make sure everything is completed in one day, so that there's no hiccups, and so that once the business is opened, that they can run it from outside of the country, because not everyone that we work with is looking to obtain residency here in Serbia. Some of them just simply want to have that corporation here in Serbia and then run it from outside of the country, which is always another option for individuals out there, especially when it comes to the low tax rate that we have here when it comes to corporations. That's what I want to let you know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.